Joel, are you ready? You're all ready to rock?
Man.
As ready as ever. Okay, so hey everybody, this is Richard from the Metal Cell podcast. Welcome to the live stream. It's the 3rd year anniversary of the Metal Cell. Really happy to announce that. I've got Howard, I've got Evan and Joe.
How are we doing?
Joining us, lads.
What's the crap?
And I'm drinking Prosecco with a pinky up.
What was the actual date of the first one?
It was 2 days ago.
Oh, well, fuck it, sure.
So it's the birthday week as such.
We missed it. You're milking it now.
Fuck off. What I did today, because I just said, you know what, one of you are going to surely ask me some shit now and I won't have a clue. So I just got some, I went over all the old ones and kind of wrote out all the bands I've done.
Of each episode.
No, I'm not going to read them out, obviously. But I interviewed 108 bands on the show, would you believe? Physically interviewed 108 bands.
Jesus Christ, in 3 years.
Yeah, 11 solo musicians. Kieran is one of them. There was 10 promoters interviewed. Some promoters have since retired. Left the scene. We can guess who those are. 7 artists were interviewed, 5 producers, 2 record label bosses. There was 2 interviews about the Kilkenny and Waterford scenes. 15 individuals got interviewed in relation to the likes of Shane, Horn and Pat Clancy, Donny and them. They were all interviewed. There was 21 Metal Cell forums and 3 Irish metal compilations released as well, with a total of 100 songs on it. So
with a full-time job and a wife and kids as well, like.
So 204 hours of interviews, 176 episodes. Happy birthday, everybody!
Yeah,
happy birthday.
204 hours of interviews, and like to think as well.
Never time back.
But the editing, the hours per episode, and the hours of shooting the promo things that you were doing. Like
those fucking things. I'm so glad I got rid of them.
The hours of goofing it. Like.
I know. So on the 15th take and you're shivering down at the beach and there's people walking past, like, and you're going, hey everybody, this is Rich from the Metal Cell podcast. I'm fucking broken. I am broken. I can't remember what I'm supposed to say.
Who's that weird goth talking to himself?
Oh God. But look, I surrounded myself with fucking brilliant people, so that's half the reason why this show is so popular. So thanks lads, much appreciated. And shout out to Daniel as well, who's at Fatboy Slim in Dublin.
Shout out to Fatboy Slim if you're watching.
She's there on the phone going, oh.
Yeah. Try call her in during the gig, like. Should be jawing her eyebrows off or something, like. Nick skin off her eyebrows with her teeth.
So Evan, get a plug in there, my friend.
For which thing now?
For the gig this weekend, this Saturday night, for those that are out there.
Yeah, we have Zora, Greystag, Z-Ren, and Astralist in Fred's.
Sweet.
There's
tickets available?
Yeah. There, you can get them from if you go onto the Dead Cult page, but there's over half of them. The launch that we did sold out, and classic thing where you get people on the day asking if I can just get them in for free. No,
okay.
Like no. I can't. If it does sell out, there's nothing I can do for you. If it doesn't, there'll be a small amount of tickets on the door. But if you're thinking about going, I'd say just save yourself the hassle and just grab a ticket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure which band I'm more excited to see. I'll have to lean towards Z-Ren because they've just disappeared off the scene for like how many years, Howard, do you reckon?
Too fucking many. They're releasing that album for the last 20 years, like.
Yeah, I've heard some of the tracks on it, and
we all have.
Heard them backwards, upside down, left and right, different stages of production. It's done, like.
I've seen some of the proposed artwork as well. It's like,
oh no, I haven't seen that.
Oh man, Chris, all we know is Chris is going to be back on stage, and I don't know how much clothes there will or will not be on that man. Like, I guarantee it, there'll be a lot of high vis. Like there, so whatever he's not wearing, you will see it.
Not sure Howard is the man there with all the illicit pictures.
I'm sure
Oh man, I've got a terabyte of information on the Cork scene.
Dirty Marie.
And let it be said as
No
well,
one is safe.
Joe straight down to Cork on a highly secretive mission.
Good man.
Around, was it 2 weeks ago now at this stage, Joe?
Secret mission. Oh, drinking.
Getting fucked up, I would say, Joe. I mean, Jesus Christ. Wow. We did.
You drinking Prosecco. Drinking pints of Murphy's all night and then getting on with the Prosecco. First thing we were going to bed was eat a big massive piece of chocolate hash.
Not on that podcast, Joe. Really?
He's
That
not lying. Like,
condones all drug use.
yeah, it does. Fair play to the boys.
Oh, yeah. And then, Joe, after I recovered Friday and then off Saturday to Limerick to see Primordial, Death to Leveler, and Brigantia.
Unreal.
All bands were fucking
unreal.
fantastic, I must say.
Fair play to Bad Rep as well.
Mm.
That looked
They're
absolutely.
the fucking boys.
Yeah,
Bad Rep do
absolute boys.
such good fucking work. You know, it should be said more. I know we all say it all the time,
Yeah.
but those lads know what they're at, and fuck it, they're still at it 15 years later and going stronger than ever.
100%. Like even when we do the awards at the end of the year, it's like when it comes to best promoter, it's almost like
Hand it over.
it's like we're giving it like you just Bad Rep. Like it has to be like you'd nearly want to give them MVP every year as well. You know? It's like
Yeah, we should do, but we can't.
the award for best Limerick promoter.
Yeah. Okay, let's get on to the business. We'll give a few shout outs anyway. Angel, thanks for joining us. Shauna, happy birthday, boyos. Okay, thank you. Alex, Dave, and Richie, what would you say was the wildest moment of the Metal Cell? Like you knew there was no going back after. The wildest moment was probably on Zoom, Angel, and it was with Con and Howard.
That podcast was fucking
You have
amazing.
no idea how long that fucking podcast took to edit. I think the interview itself was nearly 4 hours long. There was body
drinking
parts
whiskey.
produced on it.
You know what the best thing is
yeah.
about that? I watched
it.
that episode when I started work, so it was like I think I started watching it like 7:30 in the morning, and I messaged Howard Munn being like, "I've never wanted a fucking pint more at 7:00 in the morning than watching the two of them." But it went like this. It was like, "Oh yeah."
Oh, there was
Oh, there was
threats
over
made and
shouting,
everything. Oh my
Oh.
God. Con went through a
brilliant.
bottle of whiskey and you did too. Like.
Yeah. Bottle and a half.
Yeah,
I
bottle
think
and
that was actually my favorite.
I can't remember it, but I remember
man,
enjoying it.
I watched it 3 times. Like.
I can't actually revisit it, obviously, because it took like
It's-
5 hours to fucking
Yeah.
edit the thing.
If anyone hasn't seen that, do yourself a favor. Don't put it on now. Put it on after this.
Oh my God, yeah, that's it. That's one of the legendary ones, actually. That you need to have been there for, and the whole thing was on Zoom, which is
Yeah.
bizarre.
All
That's
on
the way it is.
for everyone to view whenever they want.
Yeah.
Yep. Forever and ever and ever.
Okay, so I sent you 5 tracks. Let's move on. So
Yes.
the first track is Repent by Expedition. I'll just give you a brief outline about the band. Expedition was originally formed in October 2020. So they're more or less a new band by Queeveen Boyle, vocals and rhythm guitar, and Ewan on drums. And it was basically formed out of boredom over COVID. During that time, Queeveen and Owen wrote 2 songs before enrolling Ruben Kavanagh, Owen's brother, as lead guitarist. Over the course of lockdown at the start of 2021, as the music scene was all but ceased in operation, the trio wrote more songs, one of which including Within the Shadows. In the summer of 2021, the band has secured Oisin O'Brien as the bass player. Oisin will come up later as well. I'm nearly sure it's the same guy. And the band decided on its name, Expedition. More recently, the band played in Fibber McGee's Dublin, always a good thing, and they were selected to partake in Bloodstock's Metal to the Masses. The band have a gig coming up in Derry, Joe, on the 29th of March, and they have recorded their debut EP, A Good Day to Die, and it is out came out on the 5th of March. So the band is heavily inspired by the 80s and 90s thrash and heavy metal. I think that comes through in the song. They've also begun implementing elements of new metal and death metal into their writings, which is interesting. But let's play the track first.
Certain death. Must have some ones, but see for their best. Make sure to take it one and forgive the rest. Turn them against you, made them resent you. No, I'm just better off dead. Please God resent them, make them repent their sins.
Okay, that's the general gist of it. Joe, over to you. We'll start off with my fellow trash mate.
Trashers. Yeah, this must be the first band from that part of the country that we've kind of has there been a band from Donegal on before for demos? Has there? Maybe there has.
I don't think so. Being truthful.
Either no.
But yeah, like pretty good. Obviously, first demo, first recording and stuff, and I think a lot of the demos and first recordings that we've heard on here have had a lot of studio chicanery going on, you know, like programmed drums or fixer-uppering. Like, and this kind of sounds like the opposite of this. This sounds like an old-fashioned first demo, you know, like where the guitars are playing super fast and the drummer's like playing as fast as he can kind of thing. But yeah, like kind of like it's cool to see like a new generation of people doing that kind of thing, and just more of that from Ireland is always a good thing in my opinion. So
yeah, did you get a Megadeth vibe off the vocals?
Yeah, like a little bit. Like that was one of the things that kind of stuck out to me. Like because I think in thrash a lot of the time the drums and the guitar can kind of fit a bit of a formula, really, you know. But like the vocals were cool. You can really hear though that they're all at the start of their journey, you know, trying to find out what sort of vocalist the guy actually is, you know. So you start off just trying to sound like Dave Mustaine from Donegal, like, you know, but that's
fine
right,
too.
you know?
Yeah. So potential, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And like, you know, I think they should just keep on doing things the way they're doing it instead of pretending that they're, you know, fucking, you know, Exodus style studio musicians where it sounds totally perfect. They're better off just be warts and all, and you'll fix all the problems. Whereas if everything sounds really fucking processed and fixed up, then you're going to be like, wait a minute, we are brilliant actually. No need to fucking do any work at all. Like,
some brilliant advice there, Evan.
Yeah, I felt there was kind of like a power trip vibe to a lot of the riffs. Again, what I have down here is that like the production of it and just the performance of it does like paint it with like we're a new band brush. Do you know what I mean? Which they are, but like there was some parts in it, again, like what Joe is saying, the drummer is trying to play as fast as he can. It's, you know, maybe if they just spent a little bit more time just tightening things up, but actual songwriting and ability between them all, it's definitely there. You know, like they're able to write songs. They have the ability there. For a first, like, it sounds like more of a demo than, like, we'll say a proper EP release. But
and I'll just put it out there, because it's so raw, and that's my take on it. It was so raw that maybe that's actually a good thing these days, because as Joe said, everything is overproduced to fucking death.
You know what? I 100% agree with you, but there's a difference between a raw sound and playing something tight. Do you know what I mean? Like, the over-processed, especially with drums, like, you know, the over-processed, like, picture perfect thing, I think, is overdone, and it kind of saturates everything.
Yeah.
But you can have that raw sound just from tone and feel, rather than people just say, "Oh no, it's raw," when you're really trying to say is like, "Oh yeah, we just banged it out." Like, do you know what I mean? But there is a huge potential for that being like a first release. They, like, the main thing there is their actual songwriting and, you know, their arrangement of everything. They absolutely have it. So I think it's inevitable that they will come out with some absolutely amazing tunes. I have good faith in them.
Wow, it's great news, man. Howard?
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. Being honest, you know, I don't mean to be hard on anybody, but it kind of reminded me of Megadeth covering Saint Anger or something. And I know the lads are talking about a raw sound, but Evan is right there. Like, you can sound raw, but it sounds like you're listening to band at the beginning of their journey, where they're learning their craft a little bit and are developing towards a demo. But I think what you're capturing here is them developing towards a demo. They should probably keep that to themselves for now, maybe, and work on themselves a little bit in terms of, it's really sloppy. It's really hard to listen to. Not for me, but that's not to say there's not potential there. Just, you know, wait till there's a bit more potential realized before releasing something. That'd be my advice.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And is that probably to their detriment that they can release stuff now because it's so easy to get it out there?
Yeah,
and if you want to take that on?
The constant struggle really is, just because you can doesn't mean you should, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And like, I get this all the time, like doing demos with bands and stuff like that, where, you know, it's a demo until they walk out of the studio, and then it's a single or an EP, you know? And like, I don't know, I always thought that, like, to be a single, it had to be a 7-inch or something, or to be an EP, it had to be like kind of, I don't know, an in-between album kind of release or something. Whereas I think there is a thing like where people will say it's going to look way more professional if we say this is an EP or this is, you know, a single, when it's actually just a demo. And in this case, a first demo, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's very easy to hide behind the word raw, and I think it happens a bit too much. Do you know what I mean?
It's a bit of a crutch for not performing.
I think it is. Like, there's a rawness that comes, like, with the aggression in some things, but shoddy production's shoddy production.
Yeah, but I'm guessing these lads are very young as well.
Oh, no, absolutely. Which is what we're saying is, like, there's a lot of potential there. It definitely is.
I'm glad you pointed that out. 100%.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Well, it's probably actually worth mentioning as well that, like, it is probably one of those parts of the world, unless you know someone who has a good home studio setup, like there isn't a whole bunch of like metal bands or studios or anything up there. So probably is a bit of a fend for yourself kind of vibe, you know?
Okay, cool. Track 2, right? It's Idiot Smart is the name of the song by White Room Nightmare. So it's Paul Anketel. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Anketel. So he named the project after a recurring childhood nightmare to exorcise the songs from his head that had been hanging around there for years. So he said he was brought up in the town of Antrim in Northern Ireland, and at the age of 4, ongoing love for rock and metal music began after an exposure of his cousin's record collection. So he bought his first single, Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution by AC/DC. That's weird, man. That was actually one of my first singles I bought as well. So growing up, he always wanted to play drums, but never got the opportunity until his late teens. So he got the use of a local musician's kit, and with a couple of mates, they put together a covers band doing Green Day, Nirvana, and other 90s bands. So the love of creating music stayed with him, and he taught himself how to play guitar, took courses in recording and producing music so he could release his own material. So March last year, he released his debut album, The Way of All Things. It's kind of rock metal, he said, influenced by Metallica, Deftones, Therapy, Tool, Alice in Chains, Foo Fighters, and Biffy Clyro. So the lyrics from this song were inspired by the villains of stories he's read to his son at bedtime, many of whom were lying, bullying, narcissistic tyrants in positions of power. And he said, we continue to elect them, giving them more influence in our lives, and then expressing shock when they turn out to be the egotists that treat our citizens as fools. The world is full of idiots, and you can easily be replaced. So if there was a store called Idiot's Mark, that's where they would shop, hence the title. Right. That's some spiel. I hope you appreciated that.
Yeah.
Okay, Howard, we'll start with you for this one.
Yeah, there's bits of that I enjoyed. There was a band here in Cork about maybe 20 years ago at this stage called Queen Kong, and it reminds me very much of them. They were like a three-piece kind of a avant-garde type thing. But the vocals reminded me a little bit like Ghost to a certain extent, and a bit of COC in the guitarist there. But I think the vocals are probably the best and worst thing about it. You know, it's just it's kind of cool, but like there's just something. It feels like there's a kind of a hesitation in the voice as well. I don't know. There's bits I love and bits I hate. It's kind of floating there in the middle somewhere, but definitely more interesting than the first track anyway, for sure.
Do you think he's mastered a lot of the guitaring? And I mean, he did everything I did himself.
Yeah, I mean, you can really tell that it's just one person. I mean, the drums are surely programmed there as well. Probably kind of guy that could benefit from input from other guys, maybe, or just other band members or something.
Yeah,
but
cool.
it was really not unenjoyable.
Okay, got potential, we'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah, production of that was fucking dog shit. Anyway. Again, like it's this, I've said it before, it's this bedroom fever thing. Like the drums, they're fucking Ableton kind of straight out of the jacks. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I find it intensely hard to listen past. Like I when I was listening to it today, I was like, there is a real like early 90s vibe, and I think there is like potentially good stuff that he can do, but like I don't think the vocals kind of melded well. Like the double tracking thing didn't work, and there's a solo in it that you didn't play. That I was kind of like, you know, trying to play devil's advocate, being like, yeah, well, look, we had COVID, people had to record, and then the solo came up, and it just fucking slapped me in the face with bedroom track, like, you know. But I guess I could say there's potential for everyone, but I don't know. This was just a bit too much of a bedroom song that I feel like it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't be put up in a place to be reviewed yet. It's not at that level to be for others to hear it and give their opinion, because I don't want to be an absolute prick either. Do you know what I mean? But yeah.
Okay, Joe.
I like the riffs. I thought that, like, because it's a one-man band, you know, this is my take on it, is like, yeah, I agree with everything that you two guys said about like how it doesn't really sound very pro. But like, he strikes me as someone who'd be a good rhythm guitar player stroke riff writer in a Clutch type band, you know, and there were like Alice in Chainsy vibes going on, you know.
Definitely.
But you can really hear whenever someone is singing in a room where they're trying to not annoy the people in the other room, you know, where he's standing.
That's exactly
it. Like he's singing like that, going.
There's a confidence not there. Like, yeah.
You're 100% spot on. The solo was like, you know, delete. I would delete that solo.
Yeah.
You know? But like at the same time, you have to give the guy a bit of cred, because, you know, he wants to do all that on his own. I think it would sound way better if it was a real band, you know, with people who were good at their respective jobs. This guy seems to be good at writing riffs.
Yeah.
Not good at singing, not good at programming drums, not good at playing guitar solos. But like, man, I think some of the riffs are probably some of the better riffs that we've heard on some of the demos recently. So I would say to him, man, find some people who are like-minded and come back.
I'd fully agree. They're like that early 90s vibe. Like, I fucking love it. I just think, again, what you're saying, if he focuses on what he's good at rather than try to be, you know, like a jack of all trades.
Yeah. And like, can you imagine what that would sound like if this was 20 years ago and there were no drum machines and he was having to play the drum parts? You wouldn't review the demo, because if the drums were the same caliber as the solo with the vocals, you'd be like, no,
not a chance. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And as I said, respect, lads. We're trying to help as well. Constructive criticism, not just fucking slating it for the sake of it. Like, okay, so track 3, Being by The Crux. So The Crux were founded in 2009 by heavy metal brothers James Boyd and Neil Ward, hailing from the small town of Dromore, County Down, Northern Ireland. Jeez, that's the third Northern Ireland band on. Bound by their love of metal, James and Neil, at the ripe age of 18, formed a band formerly known as War Crux. They released their successfully self-titled EP in 2011, which included their anthem, The Ties That Bind. I actually listened to that, it's excellent. After a hiatus between 2012 and 2016, they came back under the name The Crux with a new lineup and released the EP War Crux circa 09 to 13 in 2017, which is kind of a greatest hits of their material. So in March 2019, The Crux released an album, Immerse Somewhere Divine. Despite gaining back their momentum following the success of the album launch, aspirations to continue gigging were soon put on hold due to the global COVID-19 pandemic. However, the break from the stage has given The Crux time to release another EP, Time and Space, and that's out on the 22nd of March. So this is the song they gave me, and it's called Being. Okay, Ev, over to you.
Yeah, I think this was the strongest track out of them all that we got. It definitely seemed like, you know, like they're not in their infancy stage. You know what I mean? Like musicianship as well was spot on. I don't want to keep using the fucking. It's not something I'd usually listen to because, you know, I could say that about a lot of things, but like I definitely have great respect for them. I think they're very good at what they're doing. That riff that when it kind of kicks in, the like has that kind of Alice in Chains vibe, and if something even has a sprinkle in of that, I'm like, all right, okay, I'll give this a go.
What do you think of the vocalist?
Yeah, like I think he did a great job. I think just as a whole, it works. Do you know what I mean? Again, like it could be one of those things that because the way you're playing them is the actual way that I listen to them, and after 2 tracks that just, you know, with production was kind of taking over my mind a bit, it was nice for this to be able to listen to the song and not have to, which would be, you know, advice for anyone else thinking about sending stuff in. Like look at your production, because it's like putting sunglasses on at night sometimes. Like if I can't actually see the song itself and the quality of it, it'll be very hard for me to dissect it without giving out the ink. But yeah, really enjoyed that. I'd like to see that live.
Yeah.
Good crack.
Howard?
Yeah, of the 5 tracks, I think this was probably my favorite. Like Evan said, it was a nice, you know, the ears had taken a bit of a battering in the previous 2 tracks, so it was nice to get this one in here. And it's frustrating in a way because fucking it's really, really good. The vocals are so fucking good, but it's just so in that Mastodon pack kind of pocket. You know, there's nothing new or exciting going on, but it's just really fucking done well. But you know, in terms of something being exciting moving forward with, I don't know. I'd maybe go back and listen to some of the earlier stuff and see where they're coming from. But yeah, brilliant, but frustrating in that it's nothing new or original, especially with, you know, the apparent talent that they have, you know.
Yeah. Joe, would you agree with that?
Yeah, like the singing, obviously the guy who's singing, as you know, from the blurb you were reading out, he's been singing for a while, you know, and like you can really tell. So like there's a lot of confidence and stuff coming from the singing. Unfortunately, I think that's the best thing about it, you know. Like the riff whenever it comes in, it was like, oh, cool. And then like whenever that or a modulation of that riff is the kind of only thing that's really going on for a long time, it's like, all right, so this is what it is, you know. But like, I don't know, like vocals are half the battle, you know, and sometimes it's very hard to remember that in the metal world because, you know, there's so many loud guitars and stuff, but people will dig this band because the singing is good, you know, and that's a make or break in a lot of things. So fair play to them, and it's cool to see. Like I remember Warcrux from gigging around 10 years ago and stuff. So fair play to them if they're still about. And
wow. Oh, cool! That's good to hear, man. Okay, so track 4 is Lacerator, Digging Up the Hatchet.
I've noticed you've been getting away with saying what you think of any of them. Like,
yeah, Richie.
I'm the host. I like to kind of. I'll kind of come in and come out.
I'll save face there. I'll be the guy at the siege. Everyone comes up and shakes the hand.
Yeah, you fucking shame my
I'll get the finger. Like.
I'm going to come in if you're very harsh or very not. But I mean, look, at the moment, so I agree. I really like that track. It's is it my favorite? Probably close, but I really like the next one because it'll become obvious. Anyway, so it's called Lacerator, Digging Up the Hatchet. It's Eamon that sent this track in. It's their debut single. They recorded it back in September at Track Mix Studios. Shout out again to Michael Richards. I will get him on the show. The idea behind it is our first release was to get a shorter song out that had some serious bite to almost give someone a kick in the face as a way to announce our revival. They felt it with this track, and the showcased their aggressive style, and it also had some hooks to get themselves planted into the listener's head. From the opening, Let's Go, it's really just supposed to be a non-stop ride until the end without any downtime. Our influences are mainly the Bay Area bands, the Teutonic Thrashers, and the likes of Overkill, Artillery, Sepultura. They're hoping to get to record more material soon. COVID put the stops on that, and Jeff from Strangers with Guns is doing the guitar in it. Oisin, as I said, I think it's the same dude from what are they called? Expedition, is it? Expedition, first band, yeah. I'm nearly sure it's the same dude that's doing bass in both of them. And Lacken is on drums, so we'll give it a listen. As I said, this is Lacerator digging up the hatchet.
Let's go!
Just couldn't let it go. Maybe you thought I'd never know. I was gonna let it slide. Now you're challenging my pride. I'm digging up the hatchet to bury in your head. This one ain't down until one of us is dead. I thought the bitterness had gone, though it seems that I was wrong. Still you sing this same old song, 'cause I know you won't last for long. I'm digging up the hatchet to bury in your head. This one ain't down until one of us is dead. Dig it up, dig it up.
Okay, Howard.
I really like this. It's kind of an early, Kill 'Em All, Motorhead type vibe going on
Yeah.
there. But a lot of it, it was enjoyable listening to it, but it's the fucking guitar solo that comes in just towards the end there, and it's just so obnoxiously loud. And you got to admire the balls. Like, it's fucking really, really just comes out of nowhere and just again. So yeah, I mean, again, what they're doing, enjoy it. But I guess again, it's nothing new or exciting. But yeah, I can get behind that. I'd like to see it live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you think of the vocalist?
Probably the weakest bit of it, but there are parts of it there where there's a bit of gravel in his voice, which I really like. But it's kind of married with a kind of a less confident tone in his voice. But by and large, I mean, it's passable for sure. But I think I'd like to see that live and see what it's like,
Yeah. Okay, Joe?
Yeah, like you can definitely hear the black and roll kind of midnight vibe off some of it, which is sort of super in vogue at the moment. The only thing that kind of annoyed me, a lot of songs where there's like a super fast beat, it's like always being broken up by cymbal crashes in every single repetition of the riff, and the riff is like so, as you were saying, Howard, like it's not on a Motorhead album or Kill 'Em All, but it sounds very like one of those riffs, So I think like it would definitely benefit from the production on the first demo. If it sounded the same as the first demo, it would probably suit them way more. So annoyed by whatever that little vocal effect at the end of the chorus, like the speaking into the phone noise, or like, that sounded shit, like But fair play to them. Like, the world needs more thrash bands, so onward, my Christian soldiers.
Evan, it's Jeff from fucking Strangers with Guns, man,
I
doing
actually-
the riffs.
I didn't know that, and like that was in the email as well.
Mm.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even. And I fucking read every other one. I just, for some reason, didn't want to read that one. I just because Jeff was in it. I just instantly just went over it. But yeah, I actually thought that was really good. Just straight up fun thrash. Like that's like I can't really. Like what else really do I need to say? Like production, I think was great. I think it actually suited it very well. That solo as well, like I think the first time I heard that solo, I was just like, it kind of just lays out being like, all right, this is what it is. As in, like, if I'm going to delve too far into this, I'm like, it's just balls to the wall thrash. That's, you know,
Yeah.
just drinking beer, listening to it. Like,
Yeah.
And Jeff isn't fucking renowned for his solos. I must let it be known.
Is
like,
that
you
actually
know,
Jeff doing the solo now?
yeah, it is, man. I
I wanna see
mean,
a
like
video.
you listen to Strangers with Guns, and like he is fucking brilliant at riffs. And yeah, so I think he was like kind of put under the cosh to produce a solo for that song, man. And so what you're all saying is he fucking nailed it, like,
Oh, he definitely nailed that fucking.
and he'll be buzzing with that.
I think
Yeah, man,
like,
he got his balls out for that one.
I'd say, do you know what he did? It's like, right, I have to get in the mood for this. And he just got in a hot tub, got like women in bikinis and just like a fucking hat with 2 beers on the side. And he's like, plug me in. Like, this is amazing. I don't even play guitar.
It's just the volume swelling. It's just like, he's not hiding anything at all.
No,
You know what I
that's
mean?
it. It's like, just be as
Put it
ignorant as
4 steps
physically
in front of
possible.
everything else.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that solo
that's-
was the equivalent of a middle finger, really.
yeah. So track 5, right, is Lilith by Devilsome. They're a bit of an old strange entity insofar as I don't know much about them, but young Joseph in the corner who's smiling away like a prom queen.
Like a prom queen at a funeral.
At a prom, yeah. So it's Garrett Kidd, and he's a pal of Joe's, and they've been working on Devilsome. I saw the video. The video was fucking class.
Video
Joe,
was incredible.
Where did you get like the hair
So, yeah, like
floating
that
in the wind,
demo
man? It was amazing, amazing to see. You know. So fill us in on Devilsome before I play it.
So like I have an evil basement studio that like I do Gamma Bomb demos and like help out the kids around the town with. But my mate Garth is like an ex-wrestler type guy, and he's always been into kind of Danzig and stuff like that, and he wanted to do a demo, so I gave him a hand, and then the demo turned into the video, and here we are. But like I'm a bass player, so it was nice to be able to play a little bit of guitar and stuff like that, and you know, move out of the extremely tiny musical box of Gamma Bomb and do something slightly different.
And you did Joe did the solo. Did you do with the rhythm guitars and everything? Did you do all the guitar work on it?
Yeah, I did everything apart from Garth plays bass and sings, and a mate of ours did the drum tracks. So I did all the producing and solos and
Backing vocals?
keyboard. I can't even remember. No, because usually you can hear me going. And I must not.
Okay, let's give it a listen. This is Devilsome, and it's Lilith.
Thank
Over to you.
The first thing I'd say to anybody is watch the video. This fiend, like, where the fuck did he come from? I just have to
Old
meet him.
school
Like,
man of war, I'd say.
man, the second I saw him, I was like, this, like, he's done it for me straight away. I'm like, this lad is, when you said, like, oh, he used to be a professional wrestler, in my head I was like, I knew he didn't have a normal fucking job. Like, he's huge. But yeah, I think it was very fun. Like, I think like his vocals in the verse, I think really nail it. Like, there's something about that gravelly thing. I think there's just, when it gets to, like, there's a chorus, like, where there's a little bit more, like, melody to it. I think it's just, like, waves a little bit. But I would listen to that. I would listen to that all day. Like, that needs to be in, like, a fucking
think
a
it might
remake of
already be
Street
Megadeth.
Fighter. Yeah, like, so that should just be in, like, a remake of Street Fighter. Like it's so good. But I think the thing that would just kind of bring it back for me would be just the chorus sections. I think where he's trying to do, like, a little bit more melody, but I think, like, in the verses, it's like that really is, if he can hone in on more stuff like that with maybe, I'm not going to say like a wall of guitars kind of thing, but like just to have that power behind him, I could see him doing like a lot of like Motorhead stuff, like, you know, his vocals on like a Motorhead kind of fast riffy kind of thing, I think would be sick. Because if you heard Lemmy on his own, like, he's not exactly angelic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Howard?
I thought the intro break was class. Just that transition into the kind of 80s Transformers were fucking really cool. The vocals reminded me of, I don't know if you remember this band Clawfinger back in the 90s. They're a Swedish band. There's elements of that in it, but as Evan... Yeah.
Isn't the guy from Clawfinger from, where's he from, like Cork or something like that, isn't he?
No, that's fucking Women of Silence, or a similar type band. They're Swedish band or something.
Their 1 Minute Silence are unreal as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed the intro. I really enjoyed the beginning of the Vox. But as Evan was saying, when it goes into the transition into, he starts putting a little bit of melody in his voice, it loses me straight away. There's, you know, and it's pretty endearing up to that point. But when it goes there, it makes it from something that sounds pretty decent to the quality
kind of
drops so much in that 30 seconds. It's a shame, but I other than that, I really, really, really dug it. But it's hard to get past those vocals in that particular part where it transitions from the kind of gruff stuff to a melody. And it's like, I tag out, you know.
Yeah, and it's kind of, it's not only melody; it's kind of nursery rhyme kind of melody. It's kind of na 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 na, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think it's very hard, I think, for, you know, people who want to try and do both, you know, because there's so many, like, we grew up with so many like kind of bands. It was very in vogue in the 2000s and stuff to have super aggressive verses and then try and change it to, you know, have a more kind of commercially sort of viable chorus and stuff like that.
Whereas
He
doesn't have to, like.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as well, like, the people who can get away with doing that, like, you know, like, could do music that is just like that kind of course all the time. You know, they don't necessarily have to do aggressive stuff. So, but like, yeah, I think he wants to do more of that kind of like Cro-Magsy, Danzig-y type singing. You know, so
yeah,
we will see.
And you're to be commended, man. I loved the keyboard, synth, and the fucking guitar and the guitar solo, man. Fucking congrats!
Yeah.
Loved it. It suited the song. It didn't need it to be too flashy or anything like that. But
yeah, it was absolutely. The guitar work in that is genuinely sick. Like,
yeah,
I'm even laughing. It's just like there's something about it that, like,
you
makes me
just have
laugh
to
in
watch
a
the video,
positive way.
don't you?
I'm just seeing the
I
video.
haven't seen the video. I gotta check it out.
Oh man, it's the fucking best thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, Connor did, and unreal job on it. Like, it's so fucking good. Like,
And you said that was filmed in a jail, Joe. Was that right? Did I
Yeah,
pick
like
that
up
up?
in Belfast, one of his mates had access to this jail, so he just went up there and stood around. But like we filmed some of it in my house in Uri and stuff like
I
that. And
spotted
Yeah.
that,
Connor
yeah.
made him god deflecting armor and stuff like that to wear, so that he could put on like his kind of Gwar type outfit at the end, which was like loads of foam kind of monster gear, you know.
And who did the
I need
drums,
to meet
Joe?
him. Like,
A mate of mine from Dublin called Khalil, who's a reggae drummer. So like he kind of brought a bit of a different kind of vibe to it, which was
that's pretty
nice
cool,
because
yeah.
like I think in the demo we'd done like lots of double kicks and insane rolls and stuff, and this guy sort of just brought it back to the basics a little bit, which it kind of suited, you know.
Mm. Yeah.
You
So
won't.
do you think there will be more from Devilsome?
Yeah, like I think he wants to, you know, the guy like spent a lot of time wrestling, and he like runs a Jeet Kune Do kind of like school and does all that kind of stuff. So I don't think it's like these other bands where he wants to, you know, headline Bloodstock one day kind of thing. But this is his outlet. So I think he's just going to keep on doing demos and stuff. So this time next year you'll be like, these vocals have got worse. How is that possible?
But he got bigger. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, lads, thanks for reviewing all them. That's great. We move on to the main topic of the night, and it's bands that have done great or shite side projects.
great
So-
or shite.
Let me go and get a Betty here.
Yeah,
Do,
you're
boy.
going to need one.
Showing my
Great
notes from the
or shite.
So,
Said Duddy Gall. Better off.
while Joe's gone, let's do a few shout outs.
There was a lyric in it that said you'd be better off dead, and I was thinking, yeah, I would. It's not, they've stopped listening by now anyway.
Oh,
So, shout out to Bulbous Gut,
that's not your real name.
Neil Ward, Stephen Richardson, Wayne, who else is there? Jamie Clark, Alan Bullman,
Dave
Dave Longan.
Panning
Wayne is there. Wayne was fucking all ready to go last night and then realised what's going on at 9:10.
Did he?
Yeah. So, yeah.
You big silly Billy.
So anyone listening, be sure to say hello in the comments. We'll give you a shout out. Okay, as you said, side projects, the good and the bad and the ugly.
Physical description.
Yeah. Like, can we include Metallica with Lou Reed and Lulu? Like, that is just the worst.
We could do a full podcast on that if
And
you
that,
want.
like, but like, can that be acknowledged as? Does that
Look,
fall into the
Metallica-
reins of that
Metallica
joke?
got enough attention over the years. They don't need any more.
Nah.
It's fucking horrific. Anyway, it was.
Joe, did you try to fucking enjoy it to some degree?
I did not. Like, and I think if Lou Reed hadn't have been on that album, I think I might have enjoyed it. Like, I like the kind of mid-paced load and reload era Metallica riffs, and like that Lulu album is just completely jam-packed with it, like, you know. But I don't know, it's just awful, really, isn't it? Like, there's nothing good about any of it. There's no good drums or no good anything, really. It's just upsetting.
But does it fall into the realms of what we're going to talk about tonight? I don't think it does. Like,
I don't think it does. No.
No, that's a collaboration, man.
yeah, it is a
Yeah.
collaboration. That's the difference. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to start it off anyway, and it's one of our own homegrown bands. Well, we'll say Mick Carey, man. He's with Death Collector.
Yeah, sick.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Absolutely fucking brilliant release. 12 minutes of such fucking class, old school death metal there with Andy Kieran from Ashen Crown and Lee Cummings and Mick Carey of Zellicult. So I'm going to kickstart it off with in style. So big shout out to the lads, and massive release, lads, and they're getting fucking serious credit for it as well, which is great to see.
Yeah, they deserve
Deservedly.
fucking sick.
Joe, let's go with you, man. Give us one.
Good, bad, or ugly, or
Samey.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with good one here. So Firebird. Anybody ever listen to them?
Ah, man, fucking Bill Steer.
Bill Steer,
Yeah.
Carcass.
Yeah.
Bill Steer broke
Fucking
up
great
Carcass.
band. Great
Yeah,
band.
He wanted to do this band, and like basically, it's a kind of throwback to, I don't know, like Howard, would you say like it is 70s rock, isn't it? Like, you know,
Yeah, it's just like a heavy Leonard Skinner or something.
It is,
It's
yeah.
but like really, really, really impressive. And, I don't know, like I grew up, I wasn't really a big fan of Carcass and stuff like that because we were such 80s children. So whenever this came out in the late 90s, I freaking loved it. And I went to go and see them in Belfast in the Limelight, and there was like 3 other people there. Like, I was like,
yeah, they did a run of shows in Ireland and there was just 10, 15 people at the fucking gigs. This was like 3 years in a row as well. And they were
Jesus,
fucking
really?
amazing. Like, yeah, they played like the Phoenix there on the docks one time.
What? You're
There
shitting
must have
me.
been 15 people at it. Like, Krushkin once or twice, Fred's maybe a couple of times, but I must have seen him maybe 5-6 times in that period.
yeah.
And I wouldn't be a fan of Carcass. I didn't even know Bill Steer was related to Carcass. I just saw Firebird randomly one night in fucking Cork and it was just like, Jesus Christ, this is awesome. So fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good. And like, I guess the whole thing is, it's hard. It's a hard transfer because a lot of the Carcass fans were not on for taking that trip into Flair's, you know, Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
And that was probably the downfall of the band. Really, they couldn't get the attention, which is nuts because you would think that someone who's as big as Bill Steer in the metal community would automatically have a following no matter what the fuck he was doing. But that's not always the case, you know.
Mm. Yeah, I think they were so far out with Carcass to go the other way, and I admire him completely for doing it. And I mean, he's such a fucking great guitarist.
Unbelievable. But I think what happened to them is they stuck to that metal circle, I guess, in terms of the gigs they were playing and the places they were going to, and they were much better than that. They were much more
that's a good
broader
point,
than
Joe.
that, you know.
Yeah.
To be honest, Howard, I would say that they were probably way ahead of their time. If they had arrived at the same time as bands like Airborne and Blackberry Smoke and all that sort of stuff, there probably would have been more of a love for 70s stuff. But I guess the late 90s,
you could see them. You could see them going on support a tour with AC/DC or something. You know, they're that fucking good.
Totally.
Okay, that's a great one. Howard,
Oh man, I've got so many.
the good, the bad, and the ugly is the blueprint of tonight.
Well, the good is Scott Kelly from Neurosis. And this new band that they've gotten out at the moment called Absent and Body, with the drummer from Sepultura and the vocalist from Amenra is playing bass in it, and the guitarist is playing from Amenra is playing as well.
How the
fucking
fuck
great.
did I miss this? What are they called?
It only dropped in the Absent and Body, they're called.
Absent and Body. No idea. Go on, describe it to us.
They're just a fantastic band. It's exactly what you'd expect. It's a collaboration between Sepultura, Neurosis, and Amenra.
Fucking hell.
It's everything it wants. Like,
It's incredibly intense, incredibly intense band to be in. I'd imagine they're not exactly they're not like the most fun guys to be in a band with. But I think Scott Kelly's, after doing so many different side projects at this point, it's hard to pick out one that would be, my favorite or anything like that. But this is new, and it's just got elements to it that I fucking really love. It sounds really, really fucking essential in these times or something. I don't know. It's a real breath of fresh air.
Damn, completely missed that. Is it an EP, an album? Where does
it's an EP. If you go onto YouTube, you'll see it. There's a video up there. There's plenty of articles after dropping the last couple of months about them. Fucking great stuff, and it's exactly what you'd expect. You got Igor Cavalier on drums there, and for fuck's sake, I mean,
absolutely,
he was a special talent. Like,
Okay, Ev.
Yeah, if we're going good, bad, ugly, I'll do. What will I start on? Well, I'll good, mad season. Like,
yeah.
What do you mean, meh?
No, I'm saying it's a good one.
Oh, right. I was like, well,
well.
I have one that I tried to scour for one that I was like, no one's going to pick this. It's a super group. Well, so is Mad Season, but Did anyone ever see that TV show?
Is it Democracy?
Yeah, Democracy.
I have it down in my fucking notes. It's the greatest fucking TV series ever fucking existed.
Man, I've tried to find loads of the episodes as well.
It's hard to find this. They're there's like best stuff and things.
Being like, yeah, rock and roll girls aren't sexy. They're just greasy.
You got Ted Nugent, fucking Sebastian Bach,
Oh
Evan
my
Seinfeld
God.
from Biohazard, and fucking Scott Ian from Anthrax.
Yeah,
And they just live in a mansion.
Yeah,
I didn't recognize the name, but I know the series. Yeah.
And John Bonham's son is in there. Fucking, he goes
God.
on tour the first day with Yes.
yeah, that's it. He leaves. He
He
comes back.
just leaves straight away. Like.
But there's one scene where it's like your man Evan from Biohazard is trying to show
Sean Ted Nugent.
a Biohazard tune, and it's just like, and then there's a way, and like Ted Nugent's just sitting back there with his fucking cowboy cap, and he's like, yeah, I can do that. He just doesn't get it, but he's like, yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking good, man.
So here,
best shows ever.
Did they do an EP or did they do like original tunes? Like I can't
Yeah,
remember.
They did a single. They dropped a single.
Was it
And
fucking,
the artwork for it is like, yeah, the artwork is like them on this like fake dollar bill.
Like Democracy. It's so
But
fucking.
the best, I think one of the best things was it was like you can hear they looked on stage what they sounded like, just 5 lads from different areas of life that refused to cooperate.
Yeah.
So you have like fucking Scotty
Oh my
and like
God.
Evan maybe looking like thrash kind of hardcore. Sebastian Bach oiled up to fuck.
Leather fucking pants.
Yeah, leather pants. Ted Nugent, just Ted Nugent. That's all you're getting. And then like fucking what's his name? John Bonham's son, Jason Bonham, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the only one keeping it together.
He's just fucking seeing this as a gig. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't even think he knew their fucking names. He didn't even catch all their names.
It's
Like,
fucking amazing. Watch
I'm
it.
in and out.
A savage animal. He went to
Savage
call the band
animal.
Savage animal. Savage animal.
Yeah, I got the best name ever.
Savage animal.
Nah, it's definitely better than Democracy anyway.
Oh yeah, that's a great fucking one. I've totally forgot that. That was sure like reality TV.
Yeah.
And none of them liked
early
each other.
90s.
Like Sebastian Bach fucked the whole dynamic up. Nugent
He was drinking wine with a bottle.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
fucking-
Rock and roll's supposed to be sexy, man. And I have one for ugly because I know Richie's going to snap is End. And
Who's
I mean
the End?
ugly. End. Will Putney's band. Richie, I made you listen to it and you just fucking did not like it.
No, I didn't. It was
Yeah.
fucking worse than Nails.
Oh, Nails, another unbelievable band.
I never got on the Nails bandwagon myself.
Oh,
Thank you, Howard. Thank you,
Howard.
Howard.
There's one worth mentioning as well as a bad is Methods of Mayhem. I don't know if anybody remembers them when
Oh,
Tommy
who
Lee
was
went
that?
to
Yeah.
did his own thing.
that was like when new metal was. He was kind of like half in there or
Oh,
something.
Jesus,
he got
that
it,
was
he got it, yeah.
wretched. I forgot about them. Joe?
Oh, bad. Right. Dave Mustaine's side project, MD45.
bollocks.
Ever hear
You
it?
took mine.
MD45.
So that was it.
MD45,
Yeah.
Now, I will
Like,
try
like,
and
if you-
stand
if you're
up for
wondering, like,
leaving. I'd rather him on vocals than Dave Mustaine.
yeah, well, they did a remix of it, didn't they, in like 2005 and removed all of Leaving's vocals and
And
got
that
Mustaine to
was-
re-sing it.
That's the one I
Yes,
came
people
across.
Yeah,
Ah.
it's just
Shit.
total bad. Really bad, like, you know, and like especially whenever I don't know, like Leaving and Fear have always been kind of like thought of as this like cool underground or edgy kind of punk new wave band, and like Mustaine, I guess like he was at the pinnacle, Countdown to Extinction, really popular, writing really good songs, and the fact that the two of them together come out with such totally unlistenable nonsense, like
What year was it? 96?
96.
96.
I think Was it? I thought it was a bit earlier, 94 or something, because I know that there was one or two of the tunes on it that were originally for Euthanasia, and then they ended up getting booted off or booted on or whatever, you know.
Yeah, was Risk around the other side of that release? Was it?
99, so it was.
No, it was in between both. I'd say 96, I'd guess. But yeah, I liked your man's vocals. The vocalist of fucking Fear.
It seemed on paper like a cool idea because it was like Lee Ving's going to play a harmonica and, like, you know, sing on all these tunes, and Mustaine will play something different from Megadeth riffs, but it was just like watered down variant of both their produce.
But when he just started fucking singing on and just on him, when he started singing himself and just erased your man's vocals, like, fuck off. Like, how did he feel?
Like barely having a lot of substance abuse. Because, like, he's taking these albums like Euthanasia that they spent hundreds of thousands of pounds producing, and then just triggering all the drums with the worst drum samples ever. Like, you know? And he did it to every single Megadeth album over the course of one.
But didn't your man join Megadeth after that? Didn't he, Jimmy DeGracio?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he did indeed.
So he did benefit out of it, Mustaine. Yeah, it's a great example of a shit fucking.
Yeah, I don't think anybody benefits from MD45.
I have a real shitty one. I don't know. I'm going to class it as side project because I want to talk about it. Do you know Corey Taylor? CMFT, Corey motherfucking Taylor.
Oh my
Have you heard?
God.
It's kind of a solo thing, but it's not. He has members, and it's fucking piss.
Muck.
Oh my God! It's like, who the fuck let your dad on the internet? Like, what the fuck is going on?
I haven't heard this at all. Is it?
It's like Stone Sour for people that got that, like, when they got married, danced, their first song was Five Finger Death Punch. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh Christ. What were they called?
CMFT, so Corey
fucking
Taylor. Yeah.
Fucking dickhead.
All right. Yeah, I'll tag out there.
I'm
just going to read out some comments there. Bulbous Gut said he saw Firebird live in Dublin. They were great. Wayne said that Firebird show in Limelight was on my birthday. It was a cracking show. So Dave Longan said Mutoid Man was the most one that had Finding Abandoned Ages though. It's a crack. Bad Killer Be Killed.
Yeah, I agree with that.
No, I don't. I like them. Felt like a band being dragged in a dozen directions at once without making an actual choice. Ugly, every ambient side project thrown on the Bandcamp and immediately forgotten, mine included. Wayne goes, I didn't realise Mutoid Mime as a side project. MD45 is dire from Bulbous. Eamon from Lacerator. Just wanted to thank you all for taking the time to review the track. Thanks a million for bigging up Jeff Solos too. Been trying to convince him for ages.
He bigged it up himself. He fucking put his balls out, and
he's well able to shred like that. It'll make it easier for him to do more in future. Brilliant. CMFT is one of the worst songs ever written. Corey's rapping is absolutely horrific.
It's absolutely, it's like your drunk dad at a fucking birthday party being like, I'm still cool.
Okay, Mark Russell says, I'm still trying to convince myself that Corey Taylor thing is a piss take and him trolling the world. Can't get my head around it otherwise. Cool. Okay. My fucking favourite one, there's a few of them, but Nail Bomb has to be one of the best songs ever. Nail Bomb.
Very good. Who was in Nail Bomb apart from the
There's only two, Max and Alex from Fudge Tunnel.
Fudge Tunnel, yeah.
Yeah, point blank, man, unfucking real.
It was a huge album back in the 90s. It was not like that was one of
those.
Blank,
yeah, everyone fucking had it on cassette or fucking CD.
Even down to the fucking cover, you knew what you were getting. Even if you didn't know about Nail Bomb, you picked up the
it's
cover.
It's almost onomatopoeia, that cover. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, this is what it sounds like.
And it was such a shock and I don't think back in 1994 there was a lot of collaborations going on, and I think Max, to his eternal credit, because I would be critical of him in a lot of ways as well, but to his eternal credit, he got it right with fucking Nail Bomb. Man, that was fucking class.
I remember the time it came out. I mean, I was listening to bands like Prong and Fear
Prong were
Factory.
class,
Fear Factory were just starting to kind of break through a little bit as well, and there was a sort of and Rammstein as well, actually.
Yeah,
and there was a
that
sort of industrial wave of metal that started coming through, and then Nail Bomb dropped in, and it was just like Godflesh. It was a different shift in dynamic altogether again. It was fucking really cool. They played a couple of gigs as well, didn't they? They played Dynamo 95, I think it was.
That's the one to watch.
Mm.
That's the one to watch. It's fucking class.
Yeah.
So that's
Do you remember like around then was whenever like all those shit like Phil Anselmo bands like Superjoint Ritual and Down and stuff.
1,000 side projects, yeah.
Oh, don't you say that fucking downward.
Down are fucking.
No, you fucking taking the piss.
They were the next ones.
Down, I wouldn't see Down as a side project at all. I mean, to me, they just seem like their own entity.
It is a side project. And well, it's his main band now. Well, no, he does black metal stuff.
No, Down is a side project, man. That has to come into fucking side project.
Yeah, no, Down is 100% a side project.
Yeah,
and it's fake.
It was definitely the best of all that group, anyway, for sure.
Yeah, he had the black metal
What
stuff.
about this one for side project so good that the original band fucking were destroyed by its goodness? Brutal Truth.
Brutal Truth.
Yeah, Brutal Truth. Nuclear Assault effectively broke up after fucking Dan Liker left and went on to great things with Brutal Truth, and invented a fucking genre of music, like that sort of that grindy stuff that they were doing was fucking way ahead of its time,
We were still, myself and Evan were still fucking fawning over Down, Joe.
Yeah.
Fucking curveballed us there, But yeah,
the first two Down releases are incredible. I mean, I have both of them there in vinyl, and I listen to them every other fucking week,
Yeah.
But anything afterwards was the Purple EP, and there was Down 3.
But like you've got Corrosion of Conformity, you've got Crowbar, you've got fucking Jimmy Bower from I Hate God, and Phil then jumping in from Pantera. For fuck's sake, man! I mean.
Yeah, it was always going to be something decent.
Yeah, those boys were never going to release something shite together anyway.
And it's fucking pure Nola as well, man. It's fucking class.
Nola would be one of my top 5 of all time, I would reckon.
Yeah, Joe is like fucking ducking and dodging there, but look, Joe, that's fair enough as well.
I'm going to take a big piss.
Do you reckon that Brutal Truth was the end of Nuclear Assault?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Apparently they were doing interviews and stuff like that, or doing gigs where they were like all of a sudden in the early 90s going on before bands like Pestilence and Morbid Angel, and the rest of the guys in Nuclear Assault were like, this music's fucking shit, man.
Yeah,
like no one's ever going to catch on.
You can see it, yeah.
And like obviously Liker could see the writing on the wall. Now it didn't help that Nuclear Assault, kind of like a lot of those thrash bands in the early 90s, they kind of really fumbled the ball, They should have made an album as good as Arise or something like that, and they just ended up making something that made people go, you know what, let's just move on with Dan Liker to his new thing,
Which one was that? Was it Handle with Care was good. It was the one after that, wasn't it?
Yeah, Out of Order.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
Aptly named nonsense,
Yeah.
There was a band as well in England and probably maybe the late 90s. They were called Charger. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They were members of Raging Speedhorn. I think it was a couple of guys from Napalm Death and another band of that ilk. And they were fucking great as well. It was like a bit like Iron Monkey, I guess, a little bit.
Okay.
They were really, really good bands. But there was a lot of those kind of smaller bands popping out of England at the time on the back of the likes of Raging Speedhorn pushing forward, There was all these little side projects were popping up, and they were really good stuff. And there was one called My War, which is a pretty rare EP. It's got members of Iron Monkey on it and Raging Speedhorn. They released the 4-track EP.
Is from Dub War not involved in that, or is that something to do with it?
Yeah, it could be. It could well be. This came out in probably 97, I would imagine. And it got no press, it got no reviews or anything like that. It never really took off, but it still has that 4-track EP. I remember picking it up in HMV at the time. Just, I saw the cover of it. My War reminded me of the fucking Henry Rollins and Black Flag and things like that. So I said, I'll try this out. And fuck, it was really, really good. It was like a really good sludge find, little 4 tracks of sludge that, in a style of 1997 that was just captured in time and then put away again forever,
Have any of you heard Iron Reagan?
Yes, of course.
Reagan, no.
Oh,
Fucking
man.
class.
They're so, who is it? It's
Municipal Waste.
singer and bassist from Municipal Waste. Man, they're so fucking good. Like they're their own. They really are their own thing. Like, but it's what was it like? Trash hardcore.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, trash hardcore. Yeah.
It's definitely, like it's more hardcore. Like I don't think it really has that same super fast stuff that you saw in loads of Municipal Waste or whatever. But man, like they could have nearly went on and done their own thing. Like I think if Municipal Waste had stopped and Iron Reagan had just went on, people would have been like, "Yeah, it's okay.
This is fine."
Like,
yeah, I'm good
Hands
with
up
this.
in this room. Who has seen Iron Reagan live?
I don't know, maybe."
Brutal Assault, man. I saw him.
I'd say it was unreal.
Yeah. Great band, man. Great band. That's the
Some of
fucking.
those bands kind of like, do you remember in the 80s, Suicidal Tendencies had like a fucking, they had like a side project called No Mercy, and it was just basically the same guys from Suicidal Tendencies, but they had a different name. And
What were they called, Joe?
No Mercy.
No,
No
never
mercy.
came across them. I thought you were going to say
They
one of
brought
my
out like a,
picks there, which is Infectus Grooves.
yep.
Oh,
That was
Infectious
the-
Grooves.
I feel like the entire like Mutoid Man, Converge, Cave In, like they're all just nearly at one stage the same fucking rotating band members. You know what I mean? Like, except the Converge and what's her name? Is it Chelsea Wolf? The thing
Chelsea
they did
Wolf
with her?
with
I saw
Blood
them
Moon.
live, man.
Yeah,
They were
it's
fucking
collaborating,
excellent.
shite.
Man,
I
they
thought
were
it was
excellent
fucking
live.
amazing.
I thought it
I
was
saw-
fucking shite.
Oh man, they did a show in Roadburn in 2016, and they did like the kind of acoustic version of it. I guess I'm not really 100% familiar with the format, but there was the Blood Moon Converge gig, and then there was these guys kind of collaborating. So guys from Neurosis coming on stage and different players and things like that, and it was fucking amazing. It was just engaging for an hour and 15 minutes. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, the first single I heard.
No, they were class, man. They supported Ministry, Chelsea Wolf, and I fucking listened to them on Spotify.
Chelsea Wolf on her own is great, but the the Chelsea Wolf and Converge thing is shite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on their own, it's great. It's like, mixing two of your favorite foods that just shouldn't be mixed.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna. Aidan Williams shouted in big lie. Alex Kolnick's rap tune. We've all fucking seen that.
It was fucking class, man. It was brilliant.
Man. Red Corcoran, best thing Max did after Sepultura Fact, which is Nail Bomb. Who else? Cannabis Corpse are great
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, that's your man from Municipal Waste as well, isn't he? He's in. Oh no, they're from Iron Regan, isn't it? Yeah, Regan, whatever. Fuck me.
Okay, well, I mean, look, listen, I fucking think Infectious Grooves are fucking class, man. The bass playing, because bass players, Joe, hello? Rob on fucking bass in that album is absolutely fucking jaw-dropping. Like.
Yep, he sure is. But like he was on Suicidal Tendencies, the one before that as well. The one before Lights Camera, whatever it was that had triple degree and stuff.
How Will I Laugh Tomorrow?
Yeah.
What a fucking bass player.
Yeah, easily fucking but it's weird. That's the shit thing about Metallica. Like I love nowadays Metallica in a lot of respects, but like I think that since Cliff Burton died, they've just been all like, let's just turn the bass down here, and if you like, No one's allowed to have their bass sound like Geezer Butler anymore. Those days are over. You know?
I feel your pain, Joe. What about Howard? I thought you'd have a Tomahawk.
Oh yeah, I mean, but look, Mike Patton alone. I mean, if you're going to talk about side projects, there's a wealth of fucking information and directions and rabbit holes, you know.
Talk to me about
there's
Tomahawk
fucking-
since the Magnapenia covered Tomahawk song.
We did. God, it's a covered. I
Brilliant.
wouldn't
Hey,
have-
come here. A fucking amazing version of it.
Thanks, Richie. We put a lot of effort into it.
That means you didn't fucking do a thing.
You'll see it live. You'll see it
Unbelievable.
live soon because we definitely remember how to play it. Well, Mike
Jesus.
Patton, fucking. I would not look at Tomahawk as a side project really. I think
You
it
do.
was his main band for quite some time, you know.
Sure,
Phantom
man, now the
Mass as well.
Jesus Lizard was in him and fucking Helmet.
Yeah, that's collaboration again. I think you know.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
As an entity, I think Tomahawk a kind of standalone group.
Yeah.
He did stuff with Dillinger Escape Plan as well at the beginning of their journey, just fucking amazing. Lovage, I'd maybe look at Lovage as a side project. That was fucking amazing. I forget the girl's name, but he did a collaboration with this lady, and it's like 12 tracks of music to make love to your old lady by. It's all like smooth jazz and sexy undertones and really good listen.
What's your man Roddy from Faith No More's class?
Roddy Bottom.
Man love themed fucking side project called.
He's in Bruguera as well. That fucking Mexican
Yeah.
death metal. I think that could be Lovage. That you're thinking of could be
Dead Crosser class as well. Speaking of
Dead Cross. Another
Cross.
yeah, that would be a good
Yeah.
shout for a side project. Yeah.
Dave Lombardo, Mike Patton, who else?
Your man from The Locust, who also has about 500 other side projects. Like, this is the thing where, like, there's some people that just have 50 bands. Like,
Dave Cross is a great call.
Dave Grohl would be another guy, and Phil Anselmo, of course.
Forgot about them.
this is the thing. It's like what you were saying earlier, Joe, about, like, is there any band that, like, the side project took off? First thing I thought of was, like, Foo Fighters, but it's I wouldn't
The
it's
fact
not a side project because, you know,
Probot.
Would you say the same about Queens of the Stone Age? Like,
Queens of the Stone Age, yeah.
I
They
think
would
Maynard James
theoretically a
Keenan,
side
like Pussifer and what's that other band?
Perfect Circle.
Perfect Circle and so
I
on.
had that written down, yeah. But they very much became their own things as well. Do you know
But
what
yeah,
I mean?
I think so. Pussifer are
Like-
fantastic, actually. Really enjoyed that band.
And
Yeah.
the biggest example of all those has to be Audio Slave.
That's true. But they didn't
super
get
good
a
though.
bigger rage. Like, well,
Is that a
they're not
What?
on that legendary status. Like, do
I
you know what I mean?
thought they were
Side
fucking class, man. Audio
well,
Slave.
their music was
they
shite,
were
man.
class.
What, Joe?
Their music was shite, was it not? No.
Fuck off, man. The first album? No fucking way.
Yeah,
It reminds me of like same as Velvet Revolver. It's like fucking, just like if you couldn't afford the
Way
copyright to
better
use
than
one of those
fucking
songs.
Velvet Revolver. Oh, Christ.
Well, that riff, though.
That was really fair.
What's the riff? The Velvet Revolver riff.
Ah.
Good riff.
Right through me.
We couldn't get through our therapy, so we never saw it.
Yeah, I don't know if Velvet. Well, would Audio Slave be a side project?
Slash and Snake Pit were pretty good.
No, because like Rage Against the Machine were broken up,
Done.
so
Yeah.
you can't really consider it a side project. Like a supergroup
Yeah.
is whenever like a load of people get together. Where a side project, it has to be like while the band. It's like because obviously Tool
Yeah.
don't do fuck all, but like they were still active whenever he did Perfect Circle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying technically Audio Slave formed out. Like, I mean, Chris Cornell was still active with Soundgarden.
Yeah, but were Soundgarden active when that started, really?
Yeah,
Soundgarden
really.
broke up in '97 and didn't get back together until after Audio Slave broke up.
Yeah.
You're so smart, Joe.
He just solo project at the time. It was like a pop fucking
You
thing.
smoke the joints, you get the knowledge. That's it.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I've won Stormtroopers of Death.
Yeah.
Oh, speak English or die.
Speak
Yeah,
English of
I
Die
agree.
has to be
Scotty.
one of the best fucking trash releases.
Yeah,
What are you
absolutely.
fucking shaking your head, Joe?
No,
You
I'm
disagreeing?
shaking my head and like, yeah, it's
In
on
agreement.
spot.
Yeah. You just have your monitor sideways, like.
Jesus Christ, I thought he was knocking Stormtroopers of Dead. I says, has he got inside information on this shit or what? Scotty
Well,
never
it's
played on it.
They're big poo-poo heads.
I'm not a fan of it at all. I'm not a fan.
Of what? Stormtroopers of Dead.
Stormtroopers are dead. Yeah.
Howard,
Yeah,
where
they
you living
reckon
now?
that,
We'll
yeah.
fucking drive up there now and fucking
You know
bust through
what?
your windows and hang you by the
Turnstile.
fucking ankles.
Turnstile. I don't
So
know
Matt,
if they
maybe-
were a side project, right? Because they all have like 10 bands.
No,
Turnstile.
no,
Yeah,
they're not.
because
They can't
the
be.
drummer from Turnstile, no, the singer from Turnstile was the drummer in Trapped Under Ice, and they also have like other bands, but they're not great. But technically, Turnstile was a side project at one stage. But I mean, all they do is play music, so like nothing's a side project.
Turnstile is a full-time project now, man. They're
Oh,
fucking,
it absolutely is, but they have Angel Dust as well, but Turnstile are better though.
yeah, I'm gonna call out Kill or Be Killed because one of the boys fucking slayed them there. I thought they were class. The first album was excellent. So that's
some
with
of them-
Max Cavalera, Greg out of
Pucciato
Dillinger's Escape Plan,
Dillinger, yeah.
and Troy Sanders out of Mastodon, and Ben
Mastodon.
out of Converge. The first album is excellent. Fuck it.
There was that band Kush as well. I think they were called Deftones and Cypress Hill.
What?
Ooh,
Was it Kush?
missed
Something like that.
one.
It
Kush.
was like kind of in the late '90s. They were toying with a few things. I think they did a bit of a demo. You know, it wasn't very good apparently. I've never heard it myself.
Cross is shit.
But yeah, it was Cypress Hill and Deftones in 98, 99, I guess, just when Deftones were taking off at that time.
Ah.
There was a few different... And the guy from Fear Factory, the bass player, Christian Oldble.
Wobbles. Mr. Wobbly.
Mr. Wobbly.
I'm gonna give a shout out to fucking Al Jorgensen with Revolting
Ministry,
Cox. Revolting Cox, man. Do You Think I'm Sexy has to be one of my all-time top 10 favorite singles ever. Like
Oh, the damned things. That was it. I think
Revolting Cox, no? Any of you heard
No.
them? You had to have heard of
Oh,
Revolting
yeah, I've
Cox.
heard of Revolting Cox.
Beers,
No, I-
Steers, and Queers. Great album.
I have parent guidance. How is it on my? Because we are not allowed to search bad words, so it doesn't come up.
Evan, what the fuck you saying, man? Because I tell you something now. After fucking the nils on the podcast that's coming out tomorrow, I will be fucking banned off YouTube, fucking Spotify, everything. No idea what's coming through there.
Shocked
Yeah, it's
by
only a
you.
matter of time before you get banned anyway, Richie.
It is, yeah. Oh my God, you've no idea.
The thing that got you banned is already out there.
So, Evan, what are you saying, man? You're all good.
Do you know, like a band that I really, really wanted to get into, but never could, was the Damn Things, which is Keith Buckley from Every Time I Die, Scott Ian, Anthrax.
Ah.
And
Who were the other lads? Like it didn't gel for. Man, for fuck! Let me get me tentacles here now. But yeah,
Wayne Don-
they didn't gel for me. I don't know why.
Wayne Donaldson made a good suggestion there with Kingdom of Sorrow with the guy from Hatebreed, Jamie Jasta, I think it was, and
Oh, Kirk,
Kirk
yeah.
Weinstein from Crowbar, and they were a pretty decent band.
I forgot
What-
about
only the
David
one release-
Gleason.
They were very, very short-lived, I'd say, but not a bad band.
Terriers.
Terriers.
Terriers. Yeah, there we go. Cork.
Terriers, yeah. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Well, technically, the Magna Penis started out as a side band for all of us.
Yeah.
Now look at the
And
fucking state
right
of
in
us.
front of our face. Fuck's sake. Alan Bullman has asked us here, what's the best gig you have got? What's the best gig you have ever been to, guys? I just said Rammstein straight away.
Alan was with me at the gig. He knows himself.
What's that?
Alan was there with me. He knows himself.
Fatboy Slim. That's
One
a
fucking best gigs of my face is melted off me.
What? What is it?
Alan will put it in the comments. I want to test his knowledge.
Alan was
I
fucking
want to confirm.
gone to sleep. Lee Cummings, the fucking debt collector, lockup. Napalm Debt has been mentioned.
Napalm.
Yeah, Napalm Debt.
Napalm Debt.
Yob and neurosis.
Yob and neurosis, is that
There
right?
you go. That is 100% correct. Alan is on the ball. It was fucking amazing. I've seen
Yob played in.
those played a few times, but
They played a
Jesus
Paranoid
Christ.
gig, didn't they? Yob.
Yob, no,
No.
God,
What was
no.
it? What was it?
No.
Bodge or something?
You're thinking of Bellwitch. Bellwitch.
No, it's not who I'm thinking of at all. Who the fuck are they? I got a CD. I bought a CD. I don't have a fucking CD player in it. I don't know how long. My laptop doesn't even take CDs. Like,
So,
But yeah, Yob Neurosis was, I don't know, all the factors and I don't know, everything that came together at the same time. And it was probably the last decent gig I was at before the pandemic hit as well and so on.
yeah, the Arbor class.
But,
Joe,
it
what was
was
your
fucking
favourite one?
Unbelievable. Godflesh were playing as well.
It's a fucking
God,
tough one.
I saw them doing Street Cleaner at whatever the fuck that festival was. Damnation, and it was really, really good.
Yeah.
Was then only metal gigs here, or can it be
Yeah,
non-metal
only
gigs?
metal, only metal, Joe.
fuck.
I don't know actually.
Just have a rough guess. Just go with your instincts. They probably are wrong, but I just went with Rammstein, and I know it could be contradicted, but Rammstein just jumped out at me there.
The last time I saw Maiden, they were really, really good. So
Okay.
I'd put that up there as one of the best ones.
Yeah, Evan, say turnstile for a crack.
It could be, but like maybe Every Time I Die or Tool, because it was on mushrooms.
Always relevant. Have to
Yeah, it was like
fucking.
16 on mushrooms in Dublin.
That'll help.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tool.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
do much better than that.
Yeah, I pretty much nailed it. Like I've been on a steady trajectory down. Like,
So Lee Cummins says Lockup, Napalm Debt. So Lockup must be a supergroup. I don't know anything about these
Yeah,
lads.
what do you call him? Nick Barker from all those
Cradle of
bands,
Filth.
Gojira and everything. That's his sort of side project. Like.
Okay.
He had his, I think he had a studio in London or something, or he was working out of one or some crack like that, and he was guesting on everything and anything at the time.
Yeah, he's been in everyone. Like he was in Testament, Nuclear Assault, Exodus, fucking all those bands. Like as well as being in every band from the '90s, including Cradle of Filth and all that.
Who is
Like
it?
Gorgoroth and
Who'd you say,
Anytime
Joe?
I see him, like
Nicholas
whenever he was
Bastard.
in- What?
Nicholas Bastard, Nick Baker.
Oh, Nick Baker. Okay, I missed that. I love Gruesome as well because I'm a massive Death fan, and Gruesome are formed out of members of Exhumed.
Malevolent.
Malevolent.
Creation.
I'm fucking drunk here. The guitarist of Possessed and the bassist with Castrator. Oh, Robin Mazin. Shout out to Robin Mazin. Gruesome. What I love about Gruesome is they'll just follow the whole path, the whole trajectory of Death, and just kind of not copy, but they will reproduce.
No, yeah, but like I think that's why they're so good. Is just like if you want something that sounds like Scream Bloody Gore or Leprosy, there you go. Like, and
There you
that's
go.
fucking
There
hard
you
to
go.
do. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I have a wild card for you. Fudge Tunnel. Little Pig, Let Me In.
Oh, absolute little pig.
Hold on a while. Fudge
Get
Tunnel, I love Fudge Tunnel.
Who did the vocal?
Mike Patton.
What?
I
Hold
don't
on
know
a
why I said
second.
that.
What are you on about?
Yeah,
Fudge
you got
Tunnel,
green.
love
Sorry,
Fudge
not
Tunnel.
Fudge Tunnel.
Green
Green
Jelly.
Jelly.
Oh, for
Jelly.
fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Green
What's
Jelly. The Little Pig, Let Me In. The vocalist on it, who does.
I knew this. I
That's
was
Green Jelly, yeah.
It's Evan's favorite band that he's seen live.
Oh, that's Maynard.
It's Maynard, yeah.
Yeah. I knew that. Yeah. I remember the first time I was told that, and I was like,
He's like, what?
Here's a great one for you, Joe. British Lion.
Oh, that's the Maiden guys, isn't it?
Yeah, Steve Harris's side project.
Awful. Really, really, really shit. Like,
Never heard it, but I remember it being a thing.
so like, like back in the 80s, was this band called FM who were like
Oh,
England trying to make like.
they were so shit.
So he wrote a load of songs with them, and then all them boys are still floating around, and Steve Harris made an album with them, and then was like, wait a minute, I don't want to fucking play in fucking the Limelight or in Shivers because it smells like testing here. Like, you know, take me back to the arena. But loads of people that did that, like Motorhead, Lemmy had a band in the 90s called Head Cat, which was like, there was a band called the Blues Cats or whatever, and they played like rockabilly music, and Lemmy just kind of stood there being Lemmy, playing the bass really distorted and loud, while like these rockabilly boys were playing along beside him. It was a laugh.
I'd love to see that.
Jesus, I haven't seen that one.
What about Halford's one in the 90s?
Oh, what was
they
that again? That
trying to
was
fucking cash in on the Nine Inch Nails existing. Like,
That was like, it had a symbol and a number, wasn't it?
yeah,
Two.
A20 or was it fucking?
What was
Two.
it? 2. Jesus Christ, yeah.
fucking shit. Really, really shit.
The
Like,
good, the bad,
it's mad,
and
isn't it? Like whenever these
ugly.
musicians that you love come out with music that you're like, wait a minute, I thought that you were like a genius, and now it appears that like you're definitely not a
You're
genius.
really not. You just happen to get lucky, like.
Something to do with being on Columbia Records made everything okay. You know?
Yeah.
Ev, you surely have another one or two. Come on.
Yeah, this one now was like, do you know, I just couldn't get it out of my head, but do you know the band The Bronx?
No.
Well, they're class, but they have a side project of themselves called what is it? It's like a mariachi. A
Mariachi band.
Yeah,
No
but
way.
it's like Mariachi El Bronx. They just, from what I know, they actually just do Bronx songs as a mariachi band.
That's a class
And
idea.
I think it's fucking excellent. Like they were,
We were going to do that years ago and make like an album called Gamma Barn, where we were just going to have like acoustic guitars and like have bales of hay on stage instead of and be like, you know, just have normal drums but give the drummer brushes, like, and just be like,
Jesus
just get loads of
Christ.
stuff and just keep rapping it until you make sticks out of it. Like,
There's an Irish band worth mentioning, really, I suppose. 7.5 Tons of Beard. Maybe, maybe they're considered a side project.
Yeah.
You know, they're fucking just love that band. You know,
yeah, absolute heft merchants.
just heavy. Let's have a million breakdowns and slow them down, and,
They're a
and
band
just
I'm dying.
commit to the directive. Like, slow it down and keep slowing it down more.
They'll catch up.
Scream harder on this bit. Fucking love it. So yeah, as I watch you from afar, I guess would be the parent band.
The parent band of that. It's what's his name? Oh, Andy, is it? He does sound in Voodoo. He's in that as well.
Yes,
Isn't
he is, yeah.
he? Yeah.
Blaine is the Gacy's Threads was the other band. They were a hardcore band, and they were a great band actually. They were very, very much in the vein of Worn Out and Baylor.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Loved Gacy's Threads.
They're a fucking band that worked really fucking hard. They really did.
They were around like the Hero and Hour time as well, like or like. Do you
Are they
remember?
still going?
No.
No.
It was MySpace time. Like, do you remember like 23 as well? They were another sick band. Or 20 Bulls each even. They were fucking great hardcore band from back in the day. Who else? Oh man. We should actually do a full podcast on like MySpace era.
Let's do a
Irish
MySpace podcast. Absolutely. It's about
100%.
time we should.
Yeah,
Talk about what your favorite fucking theme music was. Do you remember, like the choices were so limited? You had to be like Jurassic Park theme song or X-Files theme song, or
like,
what would it be?
Fully understand why Facebook and Instagram all have the same just block color. Everything's this, because when they let us do whatever we wanted.
Oh yeah, you got the codes to the
when I figured out
background of the fucking website, like,
yeah,
and you could do whatever the fuck you wanted with a little bit of knowledge, and it was insane.
Just figuring things out, and people had fucking glitter everywhere, and had like three different.
If you clicked on the button, the fucking thing exploded.
Yeah, and then there was you know, your one on the bubbles where she just keeps falling. Like, sit and play that for hours on my own website. Like,
it was all aboard the MySpace train. Follow me, and you get 100,000 followers. And
Okay, so I'm going to end the actual YouTube and audio podcast
the evidence. The evidence.
So we're going to continue on Facebook, right? We're going to continue on Facebook. But thanks to Joe, Howard, and Evan for joining us on the 3rd year anniversary of the Metal Cell podcast. God bless the show. God bless.
Happy birthday to everyone, especially me.
And thanks to you, Richie. Thank you to fucking for the last 3 years. In fairness to you, man, it's been a bit of an injection of life into everybody.
It's been fun.
Fucking times that it's been a lot of fun.
100%.
I hope we see another 3 years. I hope we're celebrating 10 years in 7 years' time.
Evan will be staring the fucking Starship Enterprise at that stage. I will be as fucking, what's his name, Alan from
I just want Evan to visit me in the old folks' home, you know.
In my flip-flops, and as Joe said, in a linen suit.
Yeah, after I take over, I'll do like a Where Are They Now episode on you. Now that the groundwork was done by these people, I get to revel with it.